Okay, talking about Intel today. It's Monday, July 27th. They had their earnings out on Friday. The earnings were fine. In fact, they beat by 10%. But the announcement they made along with it was absolutely devastating. I can't sugarcoat it. I can't find a silver lining. I mean, there's just nothing good about it. Basically, they said their new chip with a 7 nanometer, I mean, that's the lingo for how small things are. They're at 10 nanometers now. They were trying to get to 7, which AMD already has, in fact, has had for quite a while now. Intel's production of that 7 nanometer kind of technology is delayed again. It's already been delayed, right? And it's delayed again. I mean, it's inconceivable that this happened to me. I can't believe it. I mean, they have the most resources of any semiconductor company in the world. They have, the strongest balance sheet, the best cash flow, everything you could possibly imagine. And somehow they're behind the curve of their smaller, much smaller rival AMD. I mean, AMD 3 or 4 years ago was almost done, almost out of business. And they got their act together, turned it around. They're actually ahead in the technology. They've been ahead for about a year. I was just saying, wow, Intel's going to catch them, and I gave Intel the benefit of the doubt. Now look, is a delay that big a deal? It does happen. It's huge this time around because, first of all, it's been delayed way too long. Competition is just heating up. Semis are just doing unbelievable with the rollout of 5G. They got 5G coming down the pipe, and Intel's not leading it. How is this possible? I mean, it's brutal. Okay, like it is brutal. I hope I'm clear on my position. I am not happy with Intel. That was brutal. All right, nevertheless, let's take a look at it in our model. Now, this is before the latest quarter, which is Q2, but Q2 is actually going to make it look better, but it's not better because of what I just described, okay? But anyways, let's just see where it's at. All right, so you see the track record there, pretty good track record, a little bit cyclical, and that's normal for semis. Peaking up at 14, then peaking again at 16, coming down no lower than 6 or 7% return. It's been getting better, up to 15% return. Excuse me, with 5G coming down, and my hypothesis, well, they're gonna own this space. This is gonna be Intel's time again. It does not look like that anymore. Okay, it does not look like that's gonna happen. I do have their rival AMD, and you'll see a massive difference in the profiles. Here's AMD's history. Look at the history of AMD there. I mean, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. There's no consistency. Once they popped up to 16% return. Now, recently they've popped back up to actually 19% return, which is really good. I'll give them that. I'll give them credit for that. But I mean, their 20-year history is just brutal. But also look at the valuation now. That's on a default basis, and now we got to decide. Okay, well, with all this, I mean, literally, they're going to pick up hundreds of millions of dollars of business from Intel now. Hundreds of millions. What do we got to believe to support this stock? I think we should do this exercise. I think it's worth it. I think you put in like 20% growth in the capital. I think you assume the return on capital goes higher because we don't have to put in more capital to get more sales in this case. We're just gonna pick up the business that people don't want to give to Intel because their chip is clearly better. So let's say 28% return, because it's our default was 24, and then fade to 21. I think fade to 21 is reasonable. Now where it gets challenging is going to be in this longer term fade, because does Intel come back? Do they make a comeback? Do they fold up their tent? And when I shouldn't laugh when I say fold up their tent. They actually talked about it on the call. They talked about becoming just an outsourced manufacturer for other semiconductors. That's essentially folding up your tent. Okay. They also talk on the other end. They said, well, we'll design them and then we'll just give them to Taiwan Semiconductor. So if Intel folds up his tent and just becomes an outsourced manufacturer, AMD is in such a good place, and this will not fade. They'll earn. I don't know what exactly. Let's try it. Let's reverse engineer. I just changed the fade a little bit. Let's try 12. Does 12 get us enough juice? No, not quite. Let's try 15. Okay, 15 does it. Maybe we grow the capital a little more. 15's fine. I mean, this is. I'll be honest with you. That's a pretty tough betting line. AMD does not necessarily, look that cheap. Even with this news. Having said that, I might be inclined to buy AMD anyways, because I'm just so devastated with this Intel that AMD might be just the place to go anyway. Now I'm thinking, why doesn't Intel just buy AMD? I mean, AMD's still only $80 billion market cap. Intel is $200 billion market cap. Still way bigger, right? Intel's still way bigger. There was analysts talking about this could affect national security if Intel is not a leader, and that might be true. That seems a little extreme, but if the world leader of chips is in China, do we have to rely on China for our technology? That's never been the case. And the guy made a pretty strong argument. I'm not going to be that crazy yet, and we still got AMD. AMD's still very, very good, and Intel could pick up its stocks, but their talk was not that what I could have maybe lived with is we found some flaws. We think we can fix it soon, or we have a plan to fix it soon, and we're going to be number one. There's no question. Like, if they would have just done that, I might have even overlooked it a little bit. Not completely. But I would have at least say, okay, this is the wake-up call. They didn't act like it was a wake-up call. They acted as like, we need to get out. We need to change and not be the leader. Like, essentially. I think the only way they do it now is buy AMD. I don't know if they're thinking that. They're certainly, the talk was let's just become an outsourced manufacturer for other semis. They can design them. We don't have the design capability, which is again stunning. They have the most resources. They supposedly have the best scientists, and they blew it. I don't usually rant like this. I can't help myself. I just All right, we gotta finish off with one more thing. What the hell do we do now? Intel's still in a good shape financially, like good balance sheet, good cash position, still making money with their 10 nanometer. Probably gonna not look great in the next year or so though. The only good thing I can say is the stock is down. So only meaning if you're gonna enter position, obviously that's better. But it could go lower first. I don't have a great strategy for this. I would be tend to selling. You got to do a bit of a scenario here. If it goes up, if it pops, goes up 5, 6, 7%, you might want to just say thank you and get out. I'm not going to sell right now. Doesn't mean we shouldn't, and if you do, I totally get it. I wouldn't think you're crazy at all. If this goes down to the low 40s, though, you may want to start thinking about it more seriously. Then we'll let's just leave it for now. See if it goes to the low 40s, what we think then. Let's just leave it at that. Okay, so Intel, devastating, brutal. Can't believe it. Never saw this coming. Thanks for watching our investment video. If you want to improve your portfolio returns, simply subscribe. Or if you're an investment advisor or retail investor and you want help with your portfolio more directly, we can help you with a managed account and manage each and every trade for you.